course, they put on the wrong side.
What's up, guys? Professor Bill, Comic Book University. How's everybody doing? Hi. Let's read a couple comments. See what everybody is in fact doing. Wait, did this actually go live? Did this go live? This doesn't look like it went live. It should be live. It's already live. So am I live? Can anybody hear me? Scheduled for. Oh, that's stupid. Oh, okay, you can hear me. All right, sweet. I'm like, what's going on here? Okay, so let's look at a couple comments. Yay, episode number 160. What's up, Sabrina? What's up, everybody? Breck is painting the bathroom. I want to make sure I'm on time for class. Damn well better be. Cryptid, what's going on, dude? Mark Guerrero's here. I can't wait to see what he will talk about in his podcast. Sabrina, I'd never know what I'm going to talk about in my podcast. So you know what? I'm just on the edge of my as much on the edge of my seat as you are. Anyway, Rick, has it been a big comic news week? Nah, it's been an annoying week as far as comics are concerned, but that's about it. Hey, what's up, Tommy? How you doing? Raven, good day. Oh, jeez, not FB changed. He changed his freaking name. I'm not FBI. That's exactly what somebody named not FBI National Surveillance would say. Thank you, Breck. Based on casting call descriptions, looks like Fate might be in Black Adam. It would make sense. It would make all the sense in the world as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I'm kind of hoping that it's Hector. Hector? No. Wait. Yes? Oh, crap. Dr. Fate's a weird character, and I say that being a huge Hawkman fan. Anyway, the third version of Dr. Fate is actually Hawkman's son, and since Hawkman is scheduled to be in the movie, yay! I'm kind of hoping it's that version. You're live, man. We can hear you. Thank you, Cryptid. Thank you, Breck. Underwood, what's going on, Underwood? Hey, man, glad to actually catch a live one again. Hey, glad you're here. Alan Russett is here, comic book creator extraordinaire. On time, and can't wait for a good conversation. Me neither. So what are we going to talk about? I'm wearing a golden t-shirt. I don't know what color this actually is, but it's the closest thing to gold that I have. This is going to be for the Mark II video that I'm making. I don't want to say too much else about it, but I am saying that the Spotlights on Stories series that's forthcoming, I'm just saying, consider checking out the shirt to see a little, Easter egg. Anyway, I figured let's check out a couple of toys and whatnot. Look, I got Sheriff Hopper. This is actually, I had this for a little while. I just never opened him, so I'm going to open up Sheriff Hopper. See what's what with that. I got two more things I got to open up too. I've got an Assassin's Creed guy here that I got for $2 lousy. Look at that price, man. Look at that price. That is $1.80. You got to look at the bottom price, not the top price. But even then, like $1.80, man. I'm saying that's just beautiful. This Aguilar guy, and one more brand spanking new. Just got it yesterday or the day before, whatever. Bang! I got the Probe Droid. This thing is huge. There was one on the shelf, and I was like, "Oh, why, hello there. How are you doing?" So I'm super excited to get to that. Anyway, so I'm going to open up some Sheriff Hopper right about now. See what's what. Griffo33, what's going on, Professor Griff? In the house, aggressively relaxing. Lego Dr. Fate is the best Dr. Fate. Where was this in? Because I just gave my kids the Lego Marvel Superheroes Part 2, and they were excited. Daniel Rodriguez is here. What's up? No, not a Booster Gold theme. Not a Booster Gold theme. Hey, Phil Eiling. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. I never do. But I try. I do try. I prefer Kent as Dr. Fate. Hey, no complaints. I hope to see Dr. Fate, the mercenary guy. Let's just have Dr. Fate and Moon Knight do a team up in the comics. That's what I'm looking forward to. See you representing Toronto with the YYZ. I am indeed. That is exactly what the YYZ is all about. Boop, 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 boop. Because I haven't heard planes in so long, and I love it. And once they come back, they're going to be like 3 times as loud as they've ever been. I'm sure of it. But I'm telling you, man, hey, has anybody looked out their window or just gone in their backyard, if you have a backyard, and seen what's up? I mean, like, God, man, it's so beautiful out. Like at night, so freaking beautiful. Look, I'm being serious when I say this, man. Look at this as some kind of an SJW moment or something like that. No, it's just merely an observation. Look at the world without us. Maybe we can stand to be without us, as we usually are once in a while. I'm saying. So let's see. I pull out a coffee cup, pull out a revolver, a Second Amendment. My Second Amendment. Even even in freaking Canada, probably say that to somebody. Like, hey, it's my Second Amendment right. You're in Canada. Shut, man. Just shut up. Bing! Got the chance to read Gotham High, and well, it was okay. Not really something I can recommend. Everybody needs to read it. People make it out to be what it is. That's cool, man. I'm totally okay with it. I have no interest in reading it because I know it's not for me. You know, I have no interest in reading it or reviewing it or whatever it. But let some kid do it. Let some little Tide Pod kid do it. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, man, like I look at it and I'm like, it's not for me. And I have no interest in trying to pretend that it is. Nope, I'm good. We good. Okay, so let me put this guy back. Get in there and go away. Jeez, you're annoying. Okay, so I got Bang. It's Sheriff Hopper. He can put the gun in his actual hand. If you funk with it enough, bang! There we go. He's got a little bit of a belly. I like that. I like that there's a character out there with a bit of a belly. Very realistic. Instead of like every single person in the world has abs, except for you. So those unrealistic expectations that they set for men. I'm saying, think about that. But he can also put this in his holster. And how's the holster? It's not a great holster. It's not a bad holster. It's just not a great holster. But it is nonetheless a holster. I would like it if there was a strap up top. Yeah. But it is what it is. I don't think that this is going to fall out unless somebody like really pulls it. But that's cool. I like it. It actually goes in there. And then he can also have his coffee cup. And there's no holster for the coffee cup, but he can hold his coffee cup. So there's that. And I love these little props. I love, love, love when they have all these little props. It genuinely, I'm not joking when I say this, it genuinely makes me happy to see little props. Excuse me, for the 6-inch figures. That's the 12.5-inch scale. Not 12.5-inch, 1/12 inch scale. I love that. So 1 inch on the figure for every 12 inches of the actual person. So 1/12. So hence the 6-inch figures. Oh, and also comes with this little guy to stand him up. So it's got the one peg in it to hold him up. I dig on that. I'm digging on that. All right, let's check out some more stuff. Poor David Harbour has his belly immortalized by so many toys. It's all good, aggressively laxing. It's all good. Hey, I haven't seen you around for a while. Welcome back, dude. Dragon Stromberg. Oh man, what's up, Dragon? Dragon. I can never I can never tell. What's up, Big Strom? Big Strom. What do you feel about Marvel and DC converging? I don't think that they should converge. I think that they should do a single, like if they want to do an event, and then we can say that not only is what's his name, Jeff Johns amazing, but we can also call him a prophet at that point. You know what I'm saying? So I would love the idea if they did do a crossover event, something that could potentially actually change the face of the current Marvel and DC universe separately, but that once the event is finished, that it is separate again. You know what I'm saying? Because I really don't want to see them bouncing back and forth. I don't want to see one owning the other. Really, just not interested. But I do like the idea of them having another crossover. It's cool. Just as long as they're really smart about it. What's going on here? What did I just see? Alan, I've done so little driving that a robin seems to be building a nest near my windshield wipers. I'm good with it. Take some pictures. Oh, you know what? Set up your camera outside and do like a stop motion kind of, like long time. What is it called when they do that? It's not real time, but shoot in real time, but then have it, just take a picture every like hour and then see the bird's nest increasing in size. Van, what's going on, Van? Go full last man on Earth. There you go. I'm the Omega Man. Um, Cryptid, yeah, man. Ever since we've all been in quarantine, you notice how quiet it's been with no airplanes and less air traffic at night. It's a beautiful thing. You can see more stars. Gotham High is okay for what it is. John Wright, what's up? It's not the trash Comicsgate makes it to be. It's not. It's just not for us, and that's all we have to look at it as. One thing I heard from Gotham High was that Selena Kyle's favorite shape is the triangle. I guess it means like a love triangle. That's actually kind of funny. Man, the figure reminds me of Rick. Exactly, Sabine, Sabrina. That's exactly what I was thinking. Is that he does in fact look a little bit like Rick Grimes. I guess I got to get a 6-inch Rick Grimes figure. I don't really want to get all those figures though, man. I don't want to do that. It would, however, be cool seeing Michonne going up against Okoye. I'm saying that's just me. Maybe that's just me. What do you think of Cut It Sutter tweeting on a SOA sequel based on Jax's sons after his death? I have no idea what any of that is, Thomas. I have no clue what any of that stuff is. SOA, south of Austin? I don't know. I'm sorry. Hey, Sabah. What's up, Sabah? How's life in England right now? Silva, students, hope you are all well. Tom the Fish, they will never merge. Tom the Fish has come and he has spoken. Oh man, where did John say they will merge? Oh, it was at the end of the Doomsday Clock event. He was suggesting that in 2025 the two worlds would have a crossover event. Time lapse. Thank you, Thomas. Genuinely appreciated. I'd love DC Marvel crossover with Justice League dealing with Coming of Galactus. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. I just the thing that's always bothered me about the crossovers is that DC is just so much more powerful than Marvel is. Like I'm not interested in seeing more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I loves me some Superman. I just don't want to see Superman flying in and being boring by just, I'm going to beat up everyone and none of you has a chance. It's like, wow, you are so effing boring right now. You're proving everybody right. Like, I don't want to see that. I loves me some Superman. But if you don't know how to write Superman, don't write Superman. And that's just all there is to it. There is no other argument or conversation involved. If you can't write Superman, don't write Superman. It's not about his powers. If you make it about his powers, he immediately goes into one of those corner shelf characters where it's like, he's OP. He's OP. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he is OP. It's got to be something different. Um, Nothing is what Comicsgate says it is, to be fair. It is a lot of doublespeak, right? Everything's virtue signaling. Okoye would rip Michonne in half. I'm not going to disagree with you. A fencer using a samurai sword, a katana, you know what I'm saying? That says a lot, but it is what it is. Oh, Sons of Anarchy. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I knew that. Oh, yeah, I'd never watched Sons of Anarchy. I remember when you were big on that, though. Yeah. Daniel Rodriguez. Nice, Tom. Hey. Yeah, I can't argue. I can't argue. Still in lockdown, trying to finish my degree at home. It's also day 3 of Ramadan. Yeah, here my wife is celebrating it as day 2 and she's already failed it. Last night she was like, I've got all this energy after fasting. I'm like, uh-huh. I got all this energy after exercising. But hey, whatever. And then today, she's like, okay, I'm good. I'm ready to go. And she goes back and lays down, wakes up. I go and take a little nap, like a 2-hour nap. The kids were so loud, I could barely get that nap. But I was just like, you know what? I've been up all night working. My job is I'm not getting many hours at my job right now, so that kind of stinks. But it is what it is. It's been like that since last week, actually. So whatever. Anyway, Blah, 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 blah. Freaking A. What the heck is it? English language. The yeah. She was like, so I came out. I was like, hey, how you doing? She was like, I broke my fast. Like, you broke your fast? Yeah, how long was I gone for? So yeah, she's not particularly happy, and I'm just like, whatever, man. That's on you. Like that's you. You got to do you. If you don't feel like doing it, then don't do it. But it's just so funny. Like the first day is always, yeah. It's once that second and third. And I told her, I was like, once that second and third day comes around, you're not gonna be feeling that way. But it is what it is. Um, the power level of DC is why I read way more Marvel growing up. Yeah, it's up to you. It's up to whoever you are. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have anything against DC. It's just when you put DC up against Marvel, it's like mm, it just really shows. You know what I'm saying? It's like that they're just not a good mix, you know? Like DC is great by itself. Marvel is great by themselves as long as you got the good writers and the good artists and solid editors who know what they're doing. Brah, you know, like you know when to be hands on or freaking hands off, then it's cool, you know. But if you don't know, if not all of those things are put together, then the stories just aren't what they are. But either way, I'm usually pretty happy with Marvel. I'm usually pretty happy with DC. But once you cross those streams, you usually wind up coming into the fans arguing. It's like if you just have them going against each other, it's like Superman's just going to waste everybody. Nobody's got a freaking chance. Like, why is this even a conversation, right? Odin or Thor with all his Odin power and everything like that is just whatever. You know what I'm saying? Is he doesn't mean anything to Superman. Superman's always going to be like, "Oh, you're winning now, but guess what?" It's like, it is what it is. Um. Anyway, yeah. So, ah, whatever. Once you cross them over, that's when all of a sudden it's like DC is just way too powerful for Marvel. And even then, there's always the fan vote. Like I love, love, love Aquaman. I don't know if I love Aquaman more than Namor, but they've certainly done better Aquaman stories and more Aquaman stories than Namor stories. So it is what it is, but let's just face facts. Aquaman ain't coming anywhere near freaking Namor. And even with, since the new 52, building up Aquaman to be strong enough to punch Superman and send him flying and stuff like that, at the end of the day, dude, I don't care if you could punch Superman and then walk away afterwards and he doesn't come back after you. I don't care. You are not taking down Namor. Namor will house you. He will own you. He will beat you silly. And then, seeing that one thing in the pre-amalgam universe before they made the amalgam universe, when they actually had the Marvel DC fan base thing, and they did the fan votes, and like it's like Aquaman has to beat Namor, just has to be. A whale landed on Namor, like a whale landed on Namor, and Namor got beat. Really? Like, has nobody ever read Namor before? Freaking, you could drop 30 whales on Namor. He's just gonna be like, I don't feel like eating all of you, but I will, and I'll still maintain my beautiful figure. You know what I'm saying? My green Speedo chainmail armor. I mean, like, you're not beating freaking Namor. It's not happening. Here's a guy who, and I know there's a lot of people, even who are huge Marvel fans, who are going to be like, Namor can't beat the Hulk. I'm not saying Namor can beat the Hulk. I am saying Namor can go toe to toe with the Hulk, and you put him in the water, Namor could beat the Hulk. He absolutely could. You know what I'm saying? So is what it is. Like freaking Aquaman is nowhere near in the league that Aquaman or that Namor is. Aquaman is simply not in Namor's league. But they got stuff like this, and it's like, and let's just reverse that a little bit. I'm sorry, Wolverine beats Lobo. Wolverine beats Lobo in what universe? Oh, that universe, apparently. Like, that's, come on, man. That's the thing. You either bring them down to unreasonable power levels or you just say whatever and they completely trash the Marvel characters. It's, you got to have it. And honestly, you got to be a better writer than I am a storyteller. You got to be, because I don't know how to square that circle, you know? Um, Thor would beat Superman since that just bounced since Superman is weak to magic, right? See, that's what you would argue. You would argue that Thor is magic, especially his hammer. I've made the point before that Superman is the omni character. Okay, the Green Lantern ring is the omni. It has an omni power. Okay, Anything that you want it to do, it can do it. It's just usually going to look green unless you tell it not to. You know what I'm saying? It is an omni ring. Oh, but it's got a limitation. Every 24 hours or so, you have to refill it. You have to recharge it, right? And say the oath. But for the most part, you're just, yeah, like the Green Lantern ring is an omni power. And yet, nobody with a Green Lantern ring has ever been able to truly beat Superman before because he is the omni character. Whatever you need him to do, he can somehow do it. Marvel has something like this, but it's in an object, the hammer. All right. It's not as, universal as the freaking Green Lantern ring, but that whatever, especially in the Jack Kirby and Stan Lee days, whatever you need the hammer to do, it can do. But it's not the character of Thor that's like that. So, I mean, when push comes to shove, Thor versus Superman, it should be that they're kind of going toe to toe against each other, right? But with that hammer, it's that extra special holy crap. It's like every time I hit you with that hammer, you go down. So what is it? What do they do instead? They say, "Oh, well, then, Superman grabs the hammer and says, "I'm not going to let you hit me with that hammer again." Okay, but why don't you just cause the lightning to come out and like shock him to death if you need to? Like you just they write it in a way where it's like we got to make it so that Superman win, and then everybody jumps on him. Not him, not like that. And it's like, come on, man. Like I'm just they're really good moments that you but I don't know, man. I sometimes sometimes I wonder, like, is it better to just not freaking cross them over, you know? Just it is what it is. Hey, Corey, what's going on, Corey? Um, Bah, bah, bah. Isn't the White Lantern more powerful than Superman in DC, or did they retcon that? I don't know, dude. They're always retconning that stuff. And more powerful based on what? Because at some point they're going to make Superman come back and say, "Oh, no, no, no." And that's the thing they always do with Superman. You got to understand what was everybody was just like Goku, 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 right? I got my Goku here that I put away. He breaks apart like that, but that's also how I fit him in the bag. But anyway, I've got this Super Senton Goku right here. When you think about what Goku is, you can't beat Goku. But let's say you do beat Goku. Cool. Do you kill Goku? Well, no, you wouldn't want to kill him. Cool. Then he comes back stronger than he was before. Wait, what? How does that work exactly? Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But it's only based on Superman because that's what it is with Superman. Can't kill Superman. You know what I'm saying? Well, you could kill him, but he's going to come back more powerful than he was before. Well, how does that work? But that's what it is. And that's what it's always been, man. So, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Have a nice Sunday tomorrow. Why, what's going on Sunday? What's up Sunday? Hulk punches Soups and nothing happens, right? Realistically, the Hulk should be stronger than Superman. He should be infinitely stronger than Superman, but he shouldn't have more protection than Superman. But he should be able to heal faster than Superman. So at the end of the day, if Superman could keep punching on Hulk and using his super speed and not getting caught by the same times, Hulk becomes a better fighter, when he's getting angry. Thor is the guy who is so fast. People don't usually recognize the fact that Thor is fast. It's not that, he's super fast, like I could fly and, or run super fast. No, 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 no. But he's got ridiculously quick reflexes. When Quicksilver does that tornado thing around him, Thor just reaches out and boom, grabs him. You know what I'm saying? Not even like the clothesline, grabs him. What are you doing? Like he's got those unbelievably ridiculously fast reflexes. And look, I understand that the Flash is faster than Quicksilver, but I do not believe that Superman is faster than Quicksilver. I'd say they're probably the same speed. That's the way that I would look. To be fair, Flash, Quicksilver, and Superman, they're all speedsters. Flash, however, has the Speed Force. That puts him in a league all amongst himself, all completely, well, by himself, except for the other Flashes, the other 30 or so Flashes. That being said, actually, there's more than that if you really look at it multiversally. Wow, there's an infinite number. My God, that's terrifying. Anyhow, so yeah, is what it is. Let's see. Tom the Fish. Yeah, Superman isn't weak to lightning per se. No, but it's magical lightning, so it's different. Everything that Thor does with that hammer is magical. It's like it's not just lightning; it's magical lightning. It's not just wind; it's magical wind. I don't know how that would necessarily do anything, but like case in point, if Superman were to go up against Doctor Strange, and Superman were to use his super breath against Doctor Strange. If I'm writing Doctor Strange, I'm saying, okay, Doctor Strange pulls out the wand of Watum, and he has, magical wind going back. Well, why would magical wind beat out, regular super breath? Well, I don't know. How does Superman fly in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I just look at it as Superman is weak to magic, and therefore Superman should be weak to magic. His power should be weak to magic. Everything should be weak to magic. That's just the way I look at it. His Achilles heel is magic. It's not even that he doesn't have any defenses to magic. He's actually, many times he's been shown as actually being weaker against magic than whatever. Like, magic has an extra special effect on him. And it's good because, like, every Dracula should have a Van Helsing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Professor. I've read a bit of both. Batter. Hey, what's up, Batter? Aquaman and Namor, and Aquaman seems to have more advantages than Namor. I don't see what more advantages he has than Namor. I really don't, honestly. Even if you were to say leave the tridents at home, because they both have, trident of Poseidon, trident of Neptune. Trident of Neptune, Namor's trident, is way infinitely more powerful than anything that they've ever shown. Excuse me, ever shown. What's his name? Aquaman to be able to do with his trident of Poseidon. Right? The trident of Poseidon has never shown the abilities that, like, Orm's trident isn't as powerful as Namor's trident of Neptune. But hey, you know what I'm saying? And why doesn't Namor use the trident all the time? Because he doesn't freaking well have to. I've read a lot of both of the comics, man, and no, I do not see Aquaman as being in the same league. It's like they both swim, they both breathe water. That's really where it ends. You know what I'm saying? Namor is way too OP for freaking Aquaman. I love Aquaman, but not because he's super powerful. I love him for multiple other reasons. I think Superman go toe to toe with Thor. He absolutely can. In fact, he would probably beat Thor because he's Superman. That's what Superman is. He's the unbeatable foe. I didn't like it when Superman beat Thor. Yeah, that's actually the thing I was referencing, Def Rocker. Um, hey, Bill, where do you work? Okay. The real FBI would know this. I actually teach English online to kids in China. And yeah, I'm still getting some hours, but I'm getting a whole lot less hours because it is still private. You know what I'm saying? It's a private business essentially. I work for a company, but it's individuals who just they use their own spare money and they go into the private sector and say, I want my kid to have an extra advantage in the English classes because everybody else has the extra advantage. So actually he's just catching up. So like 5 days a week, 6 days a week or so. Sometimes, whatever, maybe 7 days a week for some parents. They'll actually have their kid go on for an extra half an hour per day to learn some extra English, and they want a live teacher to do that. And I'm one of those live teachers, so I make myself available for 5 hours every morning. For me, it's every morning. It's every afternoon for them. And what do you call it? If somebody's on, then they just boop. I'll have our schedule, and maybe somebody will just show up at the last minute and say, "Hey, I'd really like to do such and such." Or sometimes maybe somebody else will cancel and be like, "Yo, yeah, you got something coming, but I can't be there," and so it'll bump over to me. So I just sit there for like 5 hours and just hey, let's see if something shows up. But yeah, um, Spider-Man will be squashed by Batman. Ooh, Sabrina, I'm going to disagree because that spider sense is just oof. Oof. Plus, I don't condone the Justice League version of Batman. I do not dig the idea of Batman going into space and having all these millions of suits like freaking Iron Man does. I don't approve or condone the like, listen, I loved when Superman or when Batman used the armor. Mind you, that armor was made by the Justice League, but still, when he went to Apocalypse and went face to face with Darkseid, like stuff like that, I don't like that version of Batman. The version of Batman, like every so often you got the Tower of Babel. Okay, that was a damn good story. That was a really good story. Batman with prep time is freaking frightening. But at the end of the day, you can't always have Batman with freaking prep time. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Alexander. Postal Service didn't bring comics for 2 weeks. I am sorry to hear that. But what I can do for you is give you a little Sheriff Hopper dance. Hey, 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 hey. Sip. All right. Yeah. Post office is delayed by like 2 weeks. I finally got my water filter in a couple days ago, and I let it sit for a couple of days because I ain't touching that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got like 3 to 4 days that COVID-19 can actually survive on cardboard. So I'm like, I'll just let it sit for a couple of days. Well, it's been a couple of days. So now I go over there, I rip it open the box, get rid of the main box, have the inside box, wash my hands crazy with soap, go back over, open up this box. I know this inside box has been in it for a while because I ordered this thing at the beginning of the month. So it's been in there for 20 days. Oh, it's fine. It's perfectly freaking fine. Nonetheless, I still wash every single piece of plastic on there. Boom, boom, boom. The stuff is drying right now. By tonight, I got to like fill it because it actually goes by proper filtration device. I know there's a lot of, water filters for this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, yeah. A lot of those water filters don't work. This one's solid. All right. It's got to go through like all the right measures in order to take out lead, to take out, chlorine, all that stuff. And there's actually a mineral water part to it also. So I can actually make mineral water. And my wife's just like, ooh, she's all over it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to put that up. I got to run a full tank of water through it 3 times before we can even start drinking the thing. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Xavier, one of my favorite people in the world, just said something. Let me scroll up and find. There we go. Yeah, I'm with Bill on this. From my limited knowledge, Bats is great when he's focused on Gotham. Agreed. Agreed. When Bats is in Gotham, it's effing epic. That's just the way I like it. Again, I hate seeing Batman having a hard time dealing with the Riddler and the Penguin when meanwhile he was just up in space punching new gods in the face. Like I'm so not I can't use that suspension of disbelief. I said like there's some things I just can't do. If you can, that's cool, but me, I'm not necessarily set in my ways, but come on, man. For me, nah. Tony Stark with prep time destroys Batman with prep time. No, I'm going to disagree on that. I'm going to disagree on that only because Batman is going to take it a whole lot more seriously. Tony Stark is totally fly by your the seat of your pants. Like I get it that he does do prep time and things like that, but I mean, nah, Tony Stark is too willy nilly with the way he does. When you got that stone cold seriousness that Batman's got, that grim visage, nah, dude. Like, um, I would say that Batman cannot beat Iron Man. Like it doesn't happen. It simply doesn't happen. If Iron Man comes to Gotham City, Batman's in trouble. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I want to look at it. But with massive amounts of prep time, yeah, sure, he could beat him. Sure, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with Batman beating Superman with massive amounts of prep time. You know what I'm saying? Like the Frank Miller verse. Yes, I'm all here for that. But uh, um, Alexander, I loved when Batman tricked Darkseid. He's so bald. Yes, there's that too. There's that too. Hey, let me give you a little Ghost Recon. UV lamps for the win. Oh, geez. Here we go. Here we go. UV lamp sun. It's funny. This is actually something that I learned long ago that the greatest disinfectant that the world has is the sun. You know what I'm saying? All life not necessarily comes from the sun, but essentially comes from the sun, right? All the food in the world actually comes from the sun. The plants, photosynthesis, sun, right? Boom, done. And then everything that doesn't provide itself by um, photosynthesis eats the plants that do survive by photosynthesis. And anything that doesn't eat the plants and only eat meat, they're eating herbivore, or they're eating either herbivores or specifically, herbivores or omnivores, potentially omnivores, but usually herbivores, right? And when you eat an herbivore, hey, you're technically, through proxy, getting the light of the sun like that. Even the things, all like the bottom feeders, all the bottom, a whale dies, little parts of it fall all the way to the bottom. The bottom feeders that never see the sun get to eat that food. that essentially came through ancestry, whatever, from the sun. All of it comes from the sun. So, likewise, disinfectant. Yes, disinfectant. Boom. But hey, I don't want to get into silliness with that. Like that, there's some things that are so silly that to me, it's like eating Tide Pod. I just talked about that earlier. If you eat Tide Pods, you probably think that you can freaking inject Clorox into your freaking veins or drink it or whatever and cure yourself of something. No, that's not the way that the world works, dude. It's really not. And oh God, please don't. Please just don't. Bruce Timm, Paul Dini do way more harm than good, if you ask me. When they put him up in space, yeah, I'm not a fan of Batman being up in space. Do you think Captain Marvel, Mark Guerrero asks, would be able to absorb one of the new 52 Superman solo? Yes, 100%. Yes, that is what she does. That is legitimately what she does. Some people have a problem with me suggesting that Captain Marvel. I'm going to open up my Assassin's Creed Aguilar now. One more thing to go after this. They don't like the idea that I think that Captain Marvel can hold her own, at least for a little while, against the Phoenix. Okay, Dark Phoenix, no, that's just way too much power, way too much, like no holding back. That's no, no, no. She can't go against the Dark Phoenix, but against the regular Phoenix, who is in control of herself and who is going to massively hold herself back by at least 10%, or excuse me, by at least 90%. Yes, she can. She can hold her own, not toe to toe. I wouldn't do that, but she could potentially do that. She could hold her own against her. Hey, Mitch, what's going on, Mitch? Uh, how goes? It goes good. How you doing? No injection of Lysol? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. You remember back when we were all kids and everybody, was talking about, oh yeah, man, huffing, huffing. Like everybody makes fun of, the kids with Tide Pods. I don't know why you're getting upset over that. At the end of the day, we used to do stupid things too. Inhaling, besides eating paste when you're kids, I never did any of that stuff, thank God. But like there are people who used to huff the spray paint and stuff like that or whatever. Like it's ridiculous. Huff glue. I mean, come on, man. But these same people, and they'll just like, oh, the kids today with their Tide Pods. Dude, we had huffing. Come on, man. Everybody's got something stupid in their lives, but we just forget. We like to point fingers and we forget. Like I always say, man, every time you point a finger, turn your hand upside down, move your thumb. What happens? You see three more of your own fingers pointing back at you. So yeah, that's always a fun one. But all that being what it is, yeah, please do not inject yourself with freaking Lysol. My God, man, like like oh, this is just painful. It's so painful to hear people say things like this. Punisher put a bullet into Batman or Sentry. Go nuts on Superman. Daniel B, what's up? Oh no, not the Tide Pod challenge again. Mark, Bat Family versus Spider-Man Family. Spider-Man Family is just way too powerful. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this is one of the things I talk about. Again, I'm telling you this as a martial artist. Okay, as a martial artist, martial arts don't beat somebody who's just ridiculously too strong. It just doesn't. Because I mean, like, I get the whole fantasy aspect, the movie aspect, and I loved, like, as a 6'5" guy, I loved whenever somebody would talk about, hey man, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Like I heard that so many times I could see it coming from a mile away. It'd get to the point where it's like, hey man, the bigger they are, I'd be like, yeah, it's true. The bigger we are, the harder we hit. Anything else you want to say? Or do you want to just shut up? Because it really does get frustrating after a while. Somebody always saying silly little things like the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Have you ever actually tried to go after somebody who's bigger than you? Because when people talk about that dude's probably got like 10 pounds on you. 10 pounds is a lot. 30 pounds is almost impossible. You just like you do not understand how hard it is. And I get it. It's comic books. You know what I'm saying? It's we're supposed to, you know, think super heroically. And when we look at wrestling, you know what I'm saying? Think about wrestling alone. This is something that I bet you I wound up talking about with Showmonger tonight in the podcast, which you guys will be able to see tomorrow morning. Well, you'll be able to listen to it tomorrow morning. If you want to wait, it'll be available on right here on YouTube on Tuesday. But why wait when you go and listen to my podcast? tonight or tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, yeah, do tomorrow morning. Anyway, the idea that people would be like Rey Mysterio versus the Big Show. Everyone would be like, dude, that little guy, he's way too little to be able to go after that big guy. And it's true. There is, let's be realistic, the only place in the world where Rey Mysterio could ever, ever, ever beat the Big Show is in WWE or on a freaking TV show, or in the movies, you know what I'm saying? In a book, maybe. Like it's a fantasy that somebody like Rey Mysterio could, like, there is zero chance in the world. You can go after him with a freaking 2x4 and a cinder block. Unless you've got a gun, all right, and know how to use it, you ain't beating him. It's just never gonna happen. What do you think about Jonah Hex comics? I freaking love Jonah Hex. You just want to get the first one to do this one, right? I love Jonah Hex. And mind you, I don't go crazy over the character, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Jonah Hex books. It's just too much fun. It's so different to me than your average, like the Two Gun Kid and all those Kid Cult and stuff like that. Those were fun. I could go back and I could read some of those because they had some fun little one-shot stories. And it's funny, man. I think that a lot of the writers today, the writers at Marvel, DC, whatever, if ever they're curious, like, how do I write a good story? My recommendation: go back and look at like the Kid Cult books, the Two Gun Kid books, and stuff like that. Look at those old Western books that would go on for like hundreds of issues, and people go crazy, right? Go back and check those books and see how to write a good story. Why? Because they're just good, wholehearted fun. When push comes to shove, you've got this character who's got a gun, doesn't have anything special, just a gun, and maybe a knife and a lasso and a horse, like little stuff like that. And then you go off and you say, you wind up making all these amazing stories, and they're great. They're absolutely great. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays people have superpowers and they're so focused on the powers or so focused on this or so focused on like one aspect of the character. You just got to know how to write a good story, man. And Westerns to me are some of the best ways to do that. Here's a guy with no powers who still goes out there and acts like a superhero. Hells to the yes. Alan Russett, Frank Mir, a BJJ black, that's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, had commented that he used techniques that were supposed to work versus Brock Lesnar, and he was just ungodly strong and nothing worked as advertised. Exactly, exactly. BJJ is actually one of the legitimate martial arts out there too. There are a couple of legitimate ones. Unfortunately, most of them are not, but is what it is. Um, but yeah, when you're super huge, like the martial arts can give you an advantage, but say like if you're equal with somebody, otherwise it could bring you up to par. But at the end of the day, come on, man. If you are like if you are half my size, I don't care if you go to the gym, I don't care if you work out, and if I just slump around all the time, you really don't stand the greatest chance in the world. Maybe if you worked out, and you went to martial arts and you learned how to fight, and I was just like a lump, okay, maybe. But I mean, when like the argument is just again, we have to remember that it's comic books, and how far do we want to go with the comic books? If you're one of those guys who could just be like, nope, Superman could do no wrong, hey, then you probably love the idea that Batman is a guy who's, what is he, 6'1", 6'2", you know what I'm saying, and he can go up against Superman and just kick his butt on the spot and just start doing all these crazy things. Maybe, and that's cool. And if you love those comic books, I've got nothing against you. Me, however, it depends. You know what I'm saying? It depends. I'm okay with Batman beating up Superman, but only if it's done in a really good way. If it's done in a way that's smart and makes me believe it. People who know how to the Drid Stewarden books. Anybody who reads a Drid Stewarden book, even if you're not a fan of the story some way, somehow, you still can't read that book and say that you're not entranced by the fights in that book. And one of the main reasons why is because Bob Salvatore, R.A. Salvatore, he is a boxer. He used to box back in the day, and he knows what he's doing. Batman is 6'1". Thank you, Tommy. I knew it was one of the two. He's a boxer, so he knows the physics of boxing, and it's loosely, termed physics, but you get what I'm saying, right? he knows how to actually fight. If you don't know how to fight and you're gonna write a fight, like he punches him and he kicks him and he does like a oh I learned this word crescent kick. And then he immediately turns around and punches him. How do you do a crescent kick and go into a punch? Which punch exactly would it be? You know what I'm saying? I'd be pretty impressed to see. Because I think the average person doesn't actually know what a crescent kick is and how you have to turn your body in a way that you can do a crescent kick. And therefore the artist is just gonna be like, sure, I'll go look up a crescent kick. Oh, it looks like this, and throw into a punch, whatever. It's a panel. You don't actually have to look into the so you can make somebody kick somebody with their right leg, really high in the head, and then immediately come in with a right-handed punch. And it just, like, oh, it looks okay on a panel. But to me, I look at this as like, how'd you get any follow-up in that punch? Like, you're extremely off balance when you kick, massively off balance when you kick. How did you get your balance back and therefore and turn it into momentum in order to twist and throw a punch, especially when you're already facing that way? There is no more twist. Where'd you get your twist? Because you're not going to get a good punch unless you twist. The only effective punch that you can throw without a twist is a jab. And that's not meant to knock somebody off their feet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's just to me, like we're all gonna read comic books differently based on our um understandings. Alex, man, Alex, brah. I didn't open up the final thing yet. Joker versus Hulk. I bet on the Joker he finds a way. See, this kind of goes back into oh, you know what? I'm gonna give you Stone Cold Steve Austin in his Ghostbuster uniform. Uh, yeah. Hell yeah. What? Uh, yeah, hell yeah. What? So there you go. I don't think that the Joker is beating the Hulk. I think that he could do all these cool little things and blah 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 whatever and keep on like poisons and all these things, but Hulk is going to regenerate from it. And at some point, Hulk's just going to get infuriated. He's going to wreck the entire town. People are going to run. If he sees the Joker, he kills him. If he doesn't, he kills him anyways because he brought the whole damn town down on top of him. I think that the Joker could annoy the Hulk. I don't think that he could ever beat the Hulk. It just doesn't make sense to me. Unless you're going to go back into that original Hulk versus Batman thing where he like somehow he used a pressure point to kick. Dude, I learned pressure points when I was younger. I actually went to a martial arts school where I'm just, see you later, Sabah. Where I saw, there were people who were teaching pressure points, but they were actually good pressure points. Because make no mistake, I have seen the comic books where they're like, oh, look at all these pressure points and blah blah blah, and you learn like shiatsu and different ways to like boom, and like some pressure points are good for punch, some you have to use a finger to do. So you have to learn how to condition your fingers to do things. If you get into a fight with somebody and you pull out your finger and try to poke them with something, dude, you deserve every single punch, kick, stab, crunch, headbutt, elbow, knee, whatever that comes to you because you actually like you had a chance to ball up your fist or pull back your hand and heel palm somebody or throw a knee or something like that. You had a chance to actually hurt somebody and you went and you used a finger on somebody, dude. Like, what do you think you are, Ric Flair? You're like, oh, we're gonna do a fight, poke. That doesn't work in a real fight. If it does, you're fighting against somebody who doesn't know how to fight at all. Like, come on, man. Come on. But hey, I love seeing pressure points in comic books or in Xena, Warrior Princess, where they're like, oh, now you can't use your body. Now you're frozen. That's not real life. It's not real life. So like it all just depends on, like that's the thing. You have to look at the fantasy of it and whatnot. Me, I love seeing a more realistic, hardened Batman who just he goes in and he's just gonna horn blows. Does the driver? Anyway, let's close this. So what do you call it? You have that just threw me completely off my game. Wow. Um, you have a like you have to make a decision. Do you want a Batman who could go toe to toe against freaking the Anti-Monitor? You know what I'm saying? Like think about it. Think about it. Do you want a Batman who can go to toe to? And if you're saying that's asinine, cool. Thank you. You're actually the person I was trying to target. The question is, where do you draw the line? Who can Batman just go up and ace without even thinking about it, and it's okay? And what's the highest power level of the person who he could do that? After that, what's the highest person that he's got a chance to beat? He's not going to just ace him, but he's going to beat him eventually. Maybe after like a minute. Who's it going to take an hour to beat? Who's it going to take, prep time to beat? Right? What are the limits of Batman? Once you figured that out, you know what kind of comic books you ever want to get forever. You know what I'm saying? You know the kind of comic books that you're going to love forever. As long as you know what you believe Hulk is capable of. Um, bow. Yeah, Hulk. But Hulk goes destroying the city. That's exactly what the Joker would want. So that's a win for him in the end. You know what? I can't argue with that, Daniel. That's a good point. Um, nice play on words. What? Cryptid had a play on words. How dare he? Joker versus Hulk ends with the Hulk who laughs. Nice. Ultimate Captain America versus U.S. Agent. Oh, they're the same person, except one's named after whiskeys, the other one isn't. I just want a street level Batman all the time. A3N, you and I, we have very similar tastes in that regard. Alt Fact, what's up, Alt Fact? Frank Miller's Batman. Was just talking about it. Loves me some Frank Miller's Batman. At least the first, books, the first Dark Knight Returns and Year One and all that. Van's right. Healing factor would burn the Joker toxin at 100%. If Van said that, Van is a freaking genius. Because yes, 100%. Cosmic stuff, no thanks. Yeah. Most of Ultimate Marvel is overrated. I can't argue too much there. Their answer to how to make them more realistic was just turn everyone to an asshole. Quicksilver Scarlet Witch with incest. Yeah. And Wolverine watching. Like that was the creepiest thing in the world. Oh my god, there was just so much wrong with that, man. But yeah, it wasn't just turning them into a-holes, but it was making them more gritty. You know what I'm saying? Um Street level Batman is best Batman. There you go. Sincerely believe that Batman has superpowers at minimum, hyper learning and or healing factor. Look at the training he did. Let's fame out. Without injuries, he has superpowers. If you ever look at the Ultimate Universe versus Valiant Universe, I think Exo Manowar is beating all of them. Personally, there, Mike Anderson. Dead Robin is the best Robin. Wow. Wow. That's just nothing but wow. Let's look at what was the thing here? Batman. When you look at the games, like the DC Legends superhero game, I forget which game that was called, but it was out around the same time as the Marvel Superheroes Advanced Role Playing Game System, which I have to put out those. I've got the first 10 episodes done. I got the first 10 episodes done, but yeah. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see about putting them out. So, what have you now? The what's it called? They When you look at Batman in those books, he has a power called martial supremacy. So martial supremacy is anything that he's going to do as far as fighting, he's got a certain amount of points that can go towards whatever you want. If he needs to do a martial arts style where he can just move faster, all right, then you can put the points towards that. Or if he has a martial arts where he's going to wrestle, well, you could put those points into wrestling skill and or strength. You can split them up however you want. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. If he's going to use a martial arts where he's just, doing a lot of acrobatics and jumping around and basically being Nightwing, well, then by all means, you could put it all into his agility and have him do flips and stuff like that. And that's the way that the game mechanics work for Batman is martial supremacy. I don't have a problem with that. In fact, I've used that several times in my face rip games. Um, Guys, we need to give this live stream more likes. How many likes are on this live stream right now? Only 17 and a dislike? Oh, pshaw. I'm okay with it. I'll tell you what. How about this? How about this? Let's do it this way. If I can get up to 25 likes, I will open the Imperial Probe Droid. This is brand new. It just hit the shelves. I just picked this up yesterday, washed it down. I will open up and look at the size of this thing. All right. Look at the size of, like, let's say, Obi-Wan. Let's pull down my dead Obi-Wan. I got Chewbacca back there, but it looks like he's going to fall. So you look at the probe droid compared to, like, look at the size of this thing. This isn't your typical probe droid that they would sell. It's just some little crappy whatever. Nah, no, 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 no. This is a badass freaking probe droid. I will open it up and do the whole me, 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 me. And somebody could actually get a dance out of it. I'm just saying. Oh, let me actually put together Aguilar here. So he's got his little knife. He's got a, let's see, how's this one? Oh, it doesn't really matter how he puts it in. So we'll put it in the right way. Oh, that's going to fall out. That sucks. I do not like that one tiny little bit. Not even one little bit. Okay, he doesn't have a sheath for his sword? What kind of crap is that? How do you not have a sheath for your sword? He does, however, have this little thing. So this is his thing for the, the thing. Oh, so it can be closed or it can be open. Okay, so it doesn't actually connect to each other. It can be closed or it can be opened. So when it's open, of course, it's like this. Are you going to get on or not? And this just doesn't seem like it has to be that bad. But you know what? You do what you got to do. Anyway, boom, you can kind of put it on and it doesn't go in the right way. Anyway, I really don't like this figure. I don't like the Todd McFarlane, man. He's got to he's got to get his act in gear. Because look at this. Here's the figure. Let me, looks like, well, okay. So it's not going to just fall out necessarily, but like that is really weak in there. There's nothing holding that knife in. I couldn't find the mute fast enough. There it is. Sorry, guys. I couldn't find the mute fast enough to mute that sneeze. My bad. I tried. I did try. But sneezes come and go when they want to come and go. Okay, so let's go. Well, there's 20 likes. Let's see if we can get 21 or excuse me, 25 likes. What do you think of Boundless Comics? I like it. Let's see. Boundless Comics. I can't think offhand of what is in Boundless Comics. Um, Here, I'll give you a. I already had this down, so um, I'm trying to remember what are in. Do a quick type. What else is in? Like what are some of the stories from Boundless Comics? Because I'm positive I've read something from them. I just honestly can't think of anything off the top of my head that they've done. But you always go and check out the reviews because I'm sure I've done reviews for them. Nova Prime versus Richard. Nova Prime Richard Rider versus Captain Marvel Carol Danvers. Oh, that's a hard one. Nova Prime is going to have the ridiculous amount of power, and if he starts, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I like the idea of Carol Danvers as either Warbird or full blown freaking the heck is it called? Binary. You know what I'm saying? Going up against Phoenix because she's going to use fire. She's going to use her rays. If she uses her psychic energies, Carol's going to have a bit of a problem. But once all those other energies are used, Carol's going to be able to, absorb all of them and then redirect them or use them to actually start punching. And that's going to be a lot. There's going to be a whole lot for Phoenix to be able to handle. Look, at the end of the day, Phoenix wins, and there's just no question there. Oh, they used to have Lady Death. Lady Death is cool. I like Lady Death. Can't think of anything else offhand. Um, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. At least she should be able to hold off Phoenix while she's trying to beat up everybody else. As far as Nova Prime, if Nova Prime just went up and started punching Carol, like that's not much of a fight, right? Like Carol's just not going to really be able to stand that chance at the end of the day. That's just way too much power. It's unbridled and forget about it. But if he does, make the mistake of like doing a shot first, nah, done. Conversation's over. Kree versus Thanagarians. That's actually perfect. That's like the perfect freaking fight, man. Wow. I don't know, but I want to read those. Unholy and Jungle Fantasy. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Jungle Fantasy. Everybody likes Jungle Fantasy, right? Especially the uncensored one. Yeah, Jungle Fantasy is freaking awesome, dude. It's like it's a nudie comic, plus it's actually got a pretty interesting story in it. And you could read them individually or as a whole. I mean, I'm a sucker for a good story, and I like naked women. I don't know what to say. I call it a crutch. I'm good with it. um, Let's see, and also Unholy. I think I remember reading Unholy. If I did, I'm sure I did a review on it, and then boom, there you go. Bow. Exo Man of War versus Red Hulk. Nah, Exo Man of War. From what I understand about him, he's just way too powerful. Can the Red Hulk absorb his powers? I don't know. It's a good question, honestly. I just don't know enough about the Valiant characters to really get into it like that. Just it is what it is. Okay, let's see. Do we have the 25 use? Whatever. I'll do it anyway because who cares? So I guess you don't have to actually get. I never get into the whole this many likes and I'll do such and such. I'm gonna open it anyway. I already said I was going to. Maybe next time I'll just say in the beginning, if we get up to this many likes, then I'll open this toy. If we get to that many likes, you know what? I'll try and remember. I'll try and do that next time because I think that could actually be fun. Oh, hey, there's a snowy base, and it's stuck here. What just said something. Okay, there we go. So I got a snowy base for it. That's cool. I'm not arguing with that. Is there anything on the outside? No, so far, no. It seems as though we're okay, number one. Make it so. Okay, we're good. Right? Yeah, we good. So this is D3, by the way, which is interesting. I wish they would say what all the other Ds were. I forget what they all are. But anyway, look at the size of this freaking thing. It's huge. My word. My word. Oh my God. He's an egomaniac and he will never let go. Not sure who the he was, but yeah. Let's see. Exo Manowar versus. I was still looking at that. The Brood versus the New Gods. The New Gods, of course, would eventually win, but man, that would be a great fight, wouldn't it? See, that's what I'm talking about. If we're gonna do a freaking Marvel DC crossover, let's actually put John Wright. That was actually a good one. That seems like something that Mark Guerrero would say. But let's put Mark Guerrero in charge of the fights because I'd be down for that. I would read the heck out of that. I want to see story. I'm tired of seeing the versus battles. We know that for the most part, DC's always going to win the versus battles. Why? Because, like I said, they're OP. That's some quick ass reflexes when you could just which foot to move when the thing comes falling down because of the angle of the damn thing. Wow. Okay, I really don't like the way they packed this damn thing. Like I'd like to smack the guy who packed this. Morons. Freaking morons. They put like here's you can see that there's a divot in there, a big divot, and they put the freaking thing around there. So how am I supposed to reach in with scissors to cut that? Like that's just ridiculous, man. Who does stuff like that? Who's the dum dum who went and put this together? And these things are fragile. And I got to cut the plastic to get to these? Absolutely ridiculous. I'm gonna wind up cutting the damn figure. Like look at this. Look how recessed this is. This leg right here. This leg, yeah, this one's already out. I just cut this one out. But like, look what I had to do. It's recessed. And look at this thing down in here. It's so far, it's so deep down. How do you get the scissors in there to get it out? You can't do it from behind. I was just looking at it. How do you handle this stuff? It's ridiculous. They make it way too damn hard. And it's only partially supposed to be a security thing. A lot of it's supposed to be for the aesthetics to make sure it doesn't come out. Because if it comes out and starts looking all over the place, one, it could rip. Two, it doesn't look as good. It doesn't look quite as good. F the looks, man. Give me a freaking toy that I can just get to. It's ridiculous. Come on. Yay, I got it. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did. Now, there it is. The toy fell. The other stuff didn't. God, I hate that. It's so damned frustrating. So let's put this over here. Get to those comments in a moment. Comic Book University. Helena, boundless branch of Avatar, doing adult comics, only doing bad girl comics. And Rushhold Allure, they are Praxidike. Lookers is good. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't have any complaints. I have no arguments. And dang, got that one in. All right. All right, all right, all right. Okay. Yeah, this is just wicked, man. I'm digging on this. All right. So it just turns the whole damn thing. Just turns, turns, turns. Got this little guy here. Pew, pew, pew. Just looks everywhere. It's got the freaking antennae up there. All these things have double rotation. Can they? Oh man, look at that. 3 points of articulation on these things. Oh God, that's just sexy. So sexy. 4 points of articulation on the long ones. The long ones. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4 points of articulate. 5 points of articulation on this one. Oh man, this is just sexy. Oh, sex on fire. Yeah, this is just gorgeous, man. Wow. Okay. So they want that there, which means this here. Right. Boop. Okay, look at that. Plenty of room for it to do whatever it wants to do. Beep, 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 beep. This is cool, man. I'm digging on that. Could Professor X outsmart Brainiac? A telepath versus Brainiac. I would like to see that story written. Raven and Ghost Rider team up. Moon Knight, Batman team up. Uh, yeah. I don't know. Moon Knight and Batman. I think I'd rather see. You know what I'd rather see? I'd rather see Moon Knight versus the Joker. Think about it. A crazy version of Batman versus Joker. Oof, digging on that. That could actually be fun. Those multiple personalities and everything. Sabrina's got a question. Which characters from DC and Marvel would you like to interact or team up with in the Omniverse? Well, I just gave one. um, I don't know. That's something I'd have to think, build off of other people's ideas. What would actually be very interesting is that if Marvel and DC did do like a team up crossover thing, we could actually get like Luke Skywalker versus I don't know, um, Black Knight. We could do that. We could actually get to see, can a lightsaber cut through Captain America's shield? I don't think it can personally, but hey, we get to see like all sorts of crazy things. I think that's the exact point of it, Van. Moon Knight versus Joker would be insane. Dragon's getting a little excited there. Ultron and Brainiac. I think that Ultron would ultimately win. His ability to just go anywhere, to be anything, robotic. I don't think Brainiac's got what it takes to beat him. Didn't you already ask Girl Talk? I don't know. Comic Book University After Dark. Thanagar invades Asgard. Now that would be a beating that there would have to be a lot of Thanagarians. The problem is there are a lot of Thanagarians. Punisher versus Death. That's Deathstroke all the way. 100%. Thanos versus Legion of Superheroes. That would be a fun one to see, right? Mind you, Thanos is not as powerful as Darkseid. So, I mean, come on. But that would actually be a really fun one to see because Thanos with Sanctuary 2 and all of this stuff that he's got, going together and the Legion having to come together because the Legion of superheroes for the most part aren't individually like unbelievably overpowered, people. It's the idea they're a team. You break up that team as individuals, each one of them is getting housed. Say not every some of them are like ridiculously powerful, but for the most part, those guys are getting housed. But it's them working together that just makes them so epic. So I could see Thanos trying to pick them off individually, and then like maybe Karate Kid goes in, he's able to sneak a couple of them out. You know what I'm saying? Just something along those lines. I would love to see something like that. And then once they get out, they all team up on them and just They just house Thanos because he's the bad guy. The bad guy's got to win, lose in the end, right? Um, with all the stuff Disney has bought, they need to make Patton Oswalt's Star Wars pitch from Parks and Recreations. I don't know what that pitch is. Don't forget about the Discord invite. Guess got to put in the freaking Discord invite. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We throw in the Discord really quick. Boom, pow, and away we go. Yellow Lantern Corps versus Asgard. Ooh. See, Mike Anderson, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about because that's something where, yeah, you're going to get some really great pitched battles and things like that, which I'm sure I'm going to enjoy seeing. Come on in, Bagel. Yep. There you go. What's up, girl? You're going to get those pitched battles, which everybody wants to see the art for, and they want to see the fighting, and they want to see like what they're going to do to each other and how they're, like what are the Warriors 3 going to do up against like freaking crap? Why can't I remember his name? With the tongue, the big long tongue, and that guy. Yeah, it could be fun. It'd be a whole lot of fun. Bagel, you and me about to fight? I'm not letting you out again after I just let you in. Like you're out there scratching to get in, you're in. What are you gonna do? You can come up or you can sit there. Ah, just sit there then. Anyway, all hail Bagel the cat. So, what I would love to see though is the idea that the Yellow Lanterns would actually, and I would definitely want to see Scarecrow as a part of the Yellow Lantern Corps. Definitely want to see that. Like, just bring him out and put him in there, and and have him, like we need to take on gods, and we've taken on gods before, but not like this. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe like this, and just they're just gods, whatever. But these are ridiculously brave gods. Like these are gods that are always fighting with each other, and just boom, and they're actually like dominant in the universe. Unlike the new gods, where you got the New Genesis and Apocalypse, and they're always at a heated war with each other and keeping each other tempered for the most part. Somehow Darkseid's still able to launch plans into the rest of the universe, including Earth. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Sure, they're both equal. Anyway, the idea is that Asgard is actually one. Asgard is the champions of the universe. They keep order. They keep more order in the universe essentially than the freaking Nova Corps do. When you think about it, even at their strongest, Nova Corps doesn't keep the peace the way that Asgard does for the most part. The reason why there isn't a War of Realms every single day is because Asgard is strong. Hey, so the Yellow Lanterns would have to really think about how we're going to handle these guys. What do they actually fear? What can we build off of? That's the kind of story I would love to see written. Maybe it's the idea that they're gods, but unlike the Olympian gods, Asgardians can actually die. Maybe the idea, the fear of Ragnarok is what actually, you know, is that overcoming fear that the Yellow Lanterns can actually work with. I want to see a damn story. If they're going to start doing crossovers, all right, I don't just want to see versus battles. Like to me, it's the most pedantic thing in the world to have just, oh, I want to see Superman versus Thor again, and I don't. I could honestly, if it winds up happening and there's a good way to do it, let's do it, baby. But other than that, nah, man. I actually want to see not just a fight. I want to see a story for once. That's all I'm asking for. Um, yeah, that's it. Um, yeah, so like that right there, that's a really good one to me. Which Lantern Corps would Bagel belong to? Ooh, that's a good question, Bagel. Hi, which Lantern Corps would you belong to? Yellow? No. Which one? It would be orange, wouldn't it? Would you be an orange lantern? No? Would you say knock and be an indigo lantern? No. What would you be? Would would you be a love lantern, sapphire? What would you be, Bagel Bagel? I'm sorry, I can't understand. Come on up. You want to come up? Come on up. Come on, come on up. Look at this good girl. I can't pick you up if you don't come up. Come on up. There you go. Look at my good girl. I don't know. I don't know. What lantern do you think that she would be? Everybody, you know what? Let's just do a vote. What lantern? What ring color? What lantern or would Bagel wear? An orange lantern, Bagel, hate Mondays? I don't know. Oh, yes, she would be blue. Oh, blue would work good. Maybe that's what she was saying the whole time, and I just couldn't understand. Maybe she would be blue. Shi'ar Royal Guard versus Klingon invasion. Oh God, Raven. Dude, these are stories that I want to write, man. Oh, that is yes, yes, all the yes in the world. Ah, but you know what? Not even just the Shi'ar Royal Guard. I want to see like the Shi'ar Empire versus the Dominion. Like, let's just go full balls to the wall on this, man. That'd be great. Some kind of Crisis Infinity event type crossover event. Maybe it doesn't always have to be about the Infinity Stones, right? It doesn't have to be about the cosmic cubes. Maybe it could just be the idea. Here's a new universe, and whoever gets control. I don't know. Whatever. Just this is not something you want to just think up off the fly. But you know what? Honestly, what's interesting is a lot of my face rip stories. I don't want to get too much into this anymore because honestly, a lot of my face rip story is leading towards something to that effect. Could it happen this season? Will that happen in the next season? Maybe it's 30 seasons off. Who knows? Who knows? But the idea is, yeah, yeah. Oh, hey, here's something. Anybody notice that I'm getting a little bit more rotund? Who else is gaining a lot of weight during the? I don't have any problems with that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Who else is getting a little bit bigger during this quarantine lockdown thing, man? Huh? Huh? I ain't got my freaking washboard abs anymore. I don't know if I've ever had washboard abs, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, who else is getting big? Be honest. I'm the only one on camera, and I have no, like I said, I've got no shame. All right. So none of you guys are on camera. Who's getting a little heavier? Who's getting a little thicker with two C's, no K? Who's getting a little bigger? Huh? Who's getting curves in all the right places, wrong places? Come on now. Conan fighting a Klingon invasion. See, that would be pretty wicked. That would be a crossover. That would be a tie-in event. Like have Conan the Barbarian or something like that, and just here's one issue where like here come these Klingons and he's got to take over a bunch of these guys, and of course he starts fighting with the I know the name of the weapon the the Batra, I think it's called, the two-handed and it's like curves in like this. So he's got to use this and he starts using it in ways that they've never used it before. Like I think that would just be great. I would love to see something like that. I don't fit in my fencing gear and my high doesn't fit properly. Are you saying gi? Let's see. Yep, G is right next to H. I'll bet you meant gi. Yeah, that's messed up. I'm sorry, Alan. I've got more folds than Fred Dukes. Oh, he's bigger than the blob, he said. I've gone from a keg to a barrel. That is awesome. Um, I've been playing so much Final Fantasy. Hey, you and Suan both. In fact, I'm really sad that Suan's not here. Batleth, thank you, Raven. You can always count on Raven. What do you call it? I'm sad Suan's not here, but she's probably playing Final Fantasy. Deaf Rocker, I'm fasting, so I'm losing weight. Oh, Death Rocker, are you also a Muslim? Um, Van's like, I've definitely got huge. I'm most deaf getting that extra spring weight. Spring weight? Seriously, winter weight. What's going on, Breck? I'm actually losing weight with all the time I've been spending exercise and kung fu since being quarantined. That's awesome. Not sure if I'm physically getting thicker, but eating is always good, no doubt, Underwood. um, you don't want to make something up like that on the fly, but your spontaneous ideas are gold. Thank you, Dragon. Yeah, my thoughtful processes are usually a little bit better. Oh, Daleks versus Borg. I'd rather see Cybermen versus Borg. That's what I'd rather see. But hey, maybe that's just me, guys. Honestly, if you can spare $100 US, I know it's going to say 120, but when you actually get to the payment process, they he drops it by $20. DDP Yoga. All right, consider DDP Yoga. You can get the app on your phone, and it's freaking awesome. He's got cooking, nutrition information on there, a weekly schedule for your, and you could see months in advance what your schedule is going to be. Just, I don't get paid anything from it, nothing whatsoever from it, but I do believe in the results. I started doing this a couple weeks ago again, and I feel good about a lot of these exercises, man. I did the one strength training exercise, and it's a half-hour long routine. I can only do the first 14 minutes of it. And I was like, wow, I have to stop. And I can't remember a time in my life when I've ever cut a workout regimen in half. I've never had one of those days. Maybe I'm just like, okay, I know going into this, I've got to be someplace in 20 minutes. So I've got like, 10, 15 minutes of doing this, and then I got to get out. But, so I have to cut if I say I got to cut the workout in half or whatever before I actually start the workout, that's one thing. If I know I got someplace to be, but like actually working out and not getting so into it, or like, yeah, no, I got smoked. Like the strength training workout smoked me. You don't need anything. You just need the app. You know what I'm saying? It's not about like picking up weights and stuff like that. It's isometric and isotonic exercises. Whoo, it's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. Like that smoked me. And I actually have an exercise today. I'm probably going to miss it. That stinks because I meant to do it this morning, but I finally went to bed at around 6 o'clock, and I was exhausted. 6:30. It was actually 6:30 by the time I went to bed. I was freaking exhausted because I was up all night putting together a bunch of stuff for videos. Like I said, this series of spotlights on stories, they're all going to be related. I'm hoping you guys are going to love them. Like if you want something you can just sit down and binge watch and like stop, come back to it later and just binge a whole bunch of episodes of spotlights on stories, I'm expecting this is going to be the one. I'm hoping this is going to be the one. What do you call it? I changed the format of it also, so the videos actually look a little bit different. I hope you guys notice and like it. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, what else we got there? Strange that the Dominion never came into conflict with the Borg. Wait, in Deep Space Nine, didn't they talk about that? I think they talked about that. Wolf 329 and all that stuff. Yeah. X-Men against Justice League. Again, John Wright, this is one of the situations. Justice League's just way too powerful. Didn't then again, Archangel did kill Godzilla. So I think that would be a very interesting. Which one was that? It was Colossus was on the cover. It was in the five. What was it, 525 or something like that? One of those ones. They called him Leviathan, but that was Godzilla. If you look up the entries, they actually indicate that it's an off the books Godzilla, but it looks like him too, but with herbivorous teeth, which is interesting. Shadow Man teams up with Blade and to battle Dracula. Oh, Mike! Who's using an artifact that will allow him to command entities from the dead side. Or he just teams up with Papa Shango. Papa Shango. Papa Leg Papa Legbo. You know what I'm saying? Just doing something like that. Oh, that would just be great. Daredevil and Elektra versus Batman and Talia al Ghul. Man. And then see, this is something where you can introduce like a really wicked storyline because like Damien shows up and he starts kicking some butt, and all of a sudden Daredevil and Elektra's kid shows up, and everybody's right now saying, "Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa! Daredevil and Elektra have a kid?" No, they don't. But hey, isn't that what comic books is all about? All of a sudden, you have it that Elektra and Elektra actually had a kid with Matt. Never said anything about it. But she's always like she's here, she's not here, whatever. And she comes up and it's like, oops, and it's like, oh yeah, I put a lot of lotion on my stretch mark, so we're good. Saying like you'd never notice it, and then you come to realize, oh, are you kidding me? How wicked would that be? And then of course she was training him the entire time. So now like you could do something like that. I don't see why not. Um, Maybe it would involve time travel so you can actually see Daredevil trying to fix, I don't know, whatever. Is that what we want? I don't know. Is that what we want? It could work. Why not? Just finished your Explained in a Minute series. So good. Why, thank you. Thank you. And hopefully you didn't make mention that it's called Explained in a Minute and not everything is explained in a minute. When I first started off, I made it a goal to try and explain everything in, like I said in the video, in about a minute. And then I just got to the point where I'm like, I'm doing characters that I can't explain in only a minute. So I started putting the explained in a minute in parentheses, and I started calling it 10 things about instead. And people are just like, it says explained in a minute, but it's in parentheses. Do you know what a parentheses mean? Clearly you don't. So yeah, I always see that. I'm just like, wow, what a, like this guy. It says explained in a minute, but I see 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And I see a dum dum. Rebirth Teen Titans, good one. Steve Jones. Where's Steve Jones? Where's Steve Jones? Steve Jones talking some stuff. Steve Jones talking some smack. Champions versus Teen Titans. Good one, Steve Jones. Uh, that could be a really fun one. Batman and Talia take it. Possibly. Here's the thing about Daredevil. Who's the only person who's ever beaten um, Karnak in a fair fight? Daredevil. Twice. Decisively. Think about that. Just just in general. Think about that. That says a lot. Hey now, what's up, Lord Kinboat? What's going on? Sounds like Toad the Wet Sprocket. Hey now, hey. Oh no, that's not Toad the Wet Sprocket. Hey now. Half a mile is 40 days. Cats are making sound. Turns to gray, and I can't hardly wait. Yeah. Anyway, Toad the Wet Sprocket. If you guys aren't familiar with that band, consider checking them out. Check out their first album. Holy crap. I could just sit down and listen to this stuff, like gorgeous stuff. Toad the Wet Sprocket. Anyway, um, what do we got here? Rogue can fly and has super strength. Why can't she absorb energy like Captain Marvel? Oh, that's not her power. That's not what her power is. If she were to absorb Captain Marvel and like, because she can't absorb everything that somebody does, only certain things that somebody does. It's like a give or take. It's like a crapshoot. You know what I'm saying? So maybe next time that she touches Captain Marvel, she'll also absorb her energy absorption powers. But she absorbs powers. Captain Marvel absorbs energy. Bishop absorbs energy too, but he absorbs more kinds of energy than Carol Danvers does. But Carol Danvers, the energies that she does um, absorb, she can absorb way more amounts than freaking what's his face. So yeah, you know what hey, has this ever happened in the comics where you've got Gambit charging Bishop? Have we ever seen that in the comics before? Because I feel like that's something that we need to see. You know what I'm saying? That to me, it just sounds like something that we need to see, where he just starts firing these explosive rounds, and like Gambit is just not just holding his back with both hands, but like hugging him, putting his face against him, and just putting everything he can into Bishop, and Bishop's just absorbing it all, and then just boom, and like I think that could be a really cool freaking panel where he's just like these concussively explosive blasts that are just out of this freaking world. Where even Cyclops walks up and says, "I gotta admit, that's impressive." Like that would be sick. Um, I call BS on Daredevil beating Karnak. That radar sense, man. That radar sense. And that's the thing. That's also the thing about Spider-Man with the besides the fact that he's just so ridiculously strong, he's got a spider sense. What kind of tricks can Batman really do against Spider-Man if he's got this sort of precognizance which allows him to predict the future? Oh, he's gonna throw something at me. I need to dodge this way, or I need to hold my breath. You know what I'm saying? I know that right away somebody's going to say, yeah, but with the appropriate prep time, Batman could make something to nullify his spider sense. But that's where we get into the leg of the game where it's like, dude, if Batman could just do prep time to beat everybody, I just don't see any fun in Batman anymore. I really don't. You know, This is to me, this is like the wrong writers writing Superman, where Superman just beats up all of his problems, he punches all his problems in the face, and then it's done. Like that's to me, that's not Superman, and Batman who could just I knew we were going to fight and I had prep time, and that's not the Batman that I personally want to read. I want to see the Batman who kicks some serious butt, but at the end of the day, Spider-Man winds up winning because, hey, spider sense and just way too strong. Batman just looking at him is like, nobody with that physique should be able to lift that much. At least with Superman, you can see how solid he is. Like you can see how big he is. What is this? This guy's skinnier than I am, but he's stronger than I am. This doesn't make sense. I hate superheroes. I hate magic. I hate superheroes. You know what I'm saying? That's something I would pay to see. A Batman who could lose, but he's thinking about it. And I never want to see a part two to it, but I want the threat of a part two. It's like, huh. And he seemed to know where I was coming from every angle. I wonder. Like stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that I want to read. I'm more interested in the story than the actual fight. The fight is like, yay, that's the payoff. But if there's no story there, I don't want to just see a versus battle. That's like, playing Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. It's fun until you run out of quarters and you're like, okay, cool. And you can leave and you don't really think about it again, you know? Nah, dude. I want something that's going to keep me engaged and like, holy crap. And that's where all of a sudden the fan conversations come in. I know there's a lot of people who aren't huge fans of the Matrix series, but those first two Matrix movies especially, but even the third one, if you didn't go home and start talking with your friends that you went to go see this movie with and start talking about it, holy crap, okay, whoa, 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 whoa. So if Neo can do such and such and such, but Smith can do so and so, what if, and you start making your own, theories and things like, if you weren't doing that, I don't think you were really watching the movie the same way that I was. I looked at these movies like, and me and some of my buds, and we got into serious, like philosophical, metaphysical, scientific conversations. We were just like brainstorming like crazy. And where did it go? It got us to, having a good night just talking about the movie that we just saw. And that's how I like my comic books too. I want a comic book that's going to leave me thinking and going, holy crap, that was really good. I don't want it to just be a video, 1v1 video game. Like, I don't want to. I don't need to see Capcom versus Street Fighter or Capcom versus Marvel or whatever it was. I don't need to see that. Bagel likes triangles. I I see the reference. Okay. Is the group called Crowded House Hey Now? Yeah, I think it is Crowded House. It does. Hey now, hey now. What does they say? The dream is over, I think. Uh, Want to talk about it. That's a good song too. They're like one of those one-hit wonder type bands. Comic Book University. Batman has to push Spider-Man to attack him and act at the last moment. Yeah, if he recognized that's what was actually happening. Otherwise, he's just going to think, how are his reflexes this good? And similarly, the same thing with Daredevil, because if you go back to looking at what Stan Lee talked about in regards to his creation of Daredevil, Spider-Man is way more powerful than Daredevil. However, Daredevil's radar sense is better than Spider-Man's spider sense because the spider sense is just, hey, danger coming from here, move this way. Okay, when he jumps out the way. But the radar sense allows for so much more detail, right? The range is much greater, um, depending on how silly you're going to get with it. But the range is much greater. It's not the idea of, oh, it's telling you that such and such and such is going to happen. No, you can actually see the trajectory, but you'd also have to be aware, and your reflexes would have to be that heightened in order for you to be able to move out of the way. It's not just that natural stuff. All's Daredevil, this is one of the things that I love about Daredevil. All Daredevil has is that radar sense, and it's unbelievably powerful, but it's very hard to use something like that offensively. Instead, he's got to work his body. He's got to make himself strong, make himself agile, make himself a good fighter, increase his endurance, make himself the perfect fighting machine. And then, for the most part, nobody can beat him in hand to hand. You know, can Daredevil beat Captain America in hand to hand? I'm going to say probably not, because Captain America has that other certain level of enhanced. but Daredevil should absolutely be able to give Captain America a run for his money, just because Cap is going to have a hard time going at him with this, that, and the other thing. But it was also argued one of the first times that they met. Daredevil says this guy is moving so fast and so like his heart is moving so fast, like I can't even. It's almost like he's invisible to me. I just see a blur when this guy moves. Um, I would like the idea of that to be further explored. You know, I still like the idea of him being able to catch Captain America's shield. I don't like the idea of anybody being able to catch his shield. Like if that's the case, well, then it's like it's not special anymore. I actually saw a comment that I didn't respond to before. Who in the Valiant universe should be able to lift Thor's hammer? That's an easy question for me. Nobody. Nobody is worth being able to pick up Thor's hammer. All right. Captain America, Beta Ray Bill. To me, that's it. In the DC universe, you could argue Superman. You could argue Superman. I don't think Wonder Woman should be able to pick it up. I don't think that freaking Batman should be able to pick it up. I don't think Green Lantern should be able to pick it up. And I don't think that anybody else, for the most part, should be able to pick it up. I'm saying maybe Superman, definitely Beta Ray Bill, and definitely Captain America. Aside from that, so 2.5 people besides Thor, I don't want to see anybody else being worthy enough to pick up Thor's hammer. I don't want to see the Vision. I hated Avengers 2 when he just picked up the hammer and whatnot. I'm like, I don't even care about the freaking the hammer on an elevator thing. I don't care. I'm not interested. You know what I'm saying? What I want to see is freaking that hammer being something where it's like it's not even explained how to be that kind of worthy. To me, that's part of the story right there. You don't just explain these things. You simply say, you're like, what does it even mean to be worthy? I want Thor to say, once you figure that out, you've mastered the basics of being worthy. Boom, right there. That's the greatest answer in the history of creation for what does it mean to be worthy? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what it means to be worthy, you're not even worthy of being worthy. You know, that's the kind of stuff that I want to see. Nova could pick that hammer up. No, he shouldn't be able to pick up that hammer. Finally done with the bathroom painting. That is awesome, Breck. Congratulations. Sentry versus Superman. Superman. Daredevil knows martial arts. Yes, he do. Don't dream it's over. Yes, that's the Crowded House song. Arrow season 8, episode 6. They outdid the Daredevil hallway fight. Elaborate fight scene with several rooms and no cuts. I'd have to see it. Season 8, episode 6 of Arrow. I'll check it out. But again, you also have to remember that original scene, somebody else could look at that and say, "Oh, well, we've got a better budget. So and we know what they did wrong and what the fans got to complain about, so we'll outdo it." That's cool. To me, that's one of those like I'm not a huge basketball fan, but when I do see a game with LeBron, I'm like, LeBron is amazing. That's awesome. But he wouldn't have a record to beat if there wasn't Jordan. So Jordan will always be Jordan to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I get all the young guys and the all that stuff. I get it. I understand and I'm with you. I hear you and you have a very valid argument. But to me, if you don't have a record to beat, what's the point of being a record breaker? You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, LeBron's beating Jordan's score. That's cool. Jordan only had himself to go against. Nobody was in Jordan's league. Nobody. You know. Um, that's just the way I look at it. So likewise, if season 8, episode 6 of Arrow was better, cool, man. I'm down. I'm down. But um, uh, Alan Russell, you're thinking of old school. I am thinking of old school Daredevil, but that's also the way that I work. I think about the old school stuff and I try to keep it that old school or build off of that old school. I You can't always build off of what someone else has done. Storyline purposes, sure. Try not to conflict with what other people have done with their storylines. But you have to make a character your own and you have to always respect the original stories. You have to, because if you don't, to me, that's just not storytelling. You know what I'm saying? You always build off of the original. If you can build off of what other people have done, also amazing runs that the fans love, cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't, I feel like you're not giving that character and everybody who's put into that character the proper respect, and therefore you're not respecting the fans, and you're not going to get a good story out of it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do always go back to the original senses of Daredevil, like all the things that he could do. But again, I would not dispute what's his name, Mark Waid, when he did that thing where, oh, Daredevil can't drive a car unless the window is gone. Because if the window is there, then his radar sense keeps bouncing off the window. That makes perfect sense to me. I love that idea. That's something that was never explored in the Stan Lee run. You know what I'm saying? So I'm totally good with that. I like the theory that Steve Rogers could have picked up Thor's hammer even back when he was skinny. Yeah, 100%. Definitely, even when he was skinny. Why not? Because worthy is worthy. Super Soldier Serum has nothing to do with his worth. In fact, it's because of his worth that he's able to put on the Nova Prime helmet. That he's able that to me that the Super Soldier Serum worked the way that it did in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you get the Red Skull or some other abomination. You know, you get Power Brokers Corporation, something like that. You know, excuse me, Toyo Harada tries to take control of the Phoenix Force, and the X-Men and Harbinger Renegades team work together to stop him. I have got to read that 6-issue Toyo Harada story because I've got it. It was sent to me by PDF for free from Valiant, so I've got to read it. I've got it on my computer someplace. I've got to just find it and read it one of these days. Professor, look at the likes. Oh, what's the likes? What are the likes? Hey, 29 likes. All right. Thank you very much. Plus the one dislike. Hey, believe it or not, they're actually counted the same. The dislikes and the likes are actually counted the same by the algorithm. It's that illusion of choice. You know what I'm saying? Power Rangers versus Nova Corps. Power Rangers ain't going to be around much longer after that. I hate all the I hate the power creep that they've infected the Marvel universe with. I don't know what the power creep is. Yes, that's a fact that they all talked about in the movies where Captain America, Steve Rogers, didn't want to hurt Thor's feelings in the Avengers 2 movie. That was always the case from the very beginning. Um, let's see, Nova is one of the best heroes in the whole Marvel universe, but like the most unrecognized hero as well. Agreed, agreed. In fact, if anybody's not sure of that, go and read Annihilation because yeah, you'll see it right there. Victor Von Doom and Vandal Savage, how would they interact? I understand correctly, there's a storyline where Doom is made to travel back to the beginning of humanity. Yes, in the Secret Wars thing, Underwood. I'm going to put you down, Bagel, because you're starting to get kind of heavy the way that you're leaning on me. It's like too much on one side, not anything on the other. I love you too, girl. Yes, I do. You're my pretty girl. Okay, so no more crotch shot for you guys. Kite Man versus Stilt Man. Oh, you got to give it to Stilt Man. I mean, that's not even an argument. um, I think that Doom would look at Vandal Savage with contempt. He would literally just look at it like, come on. You know what I'm saying? When you look at what Chip Zdarsky wrote in issue 3 of X-Men plus Fantastic Four, you see Doctor Doom like, I don't think that sharp claws in your wrists makes you superior to a human, to humanity. I mean, come on. Like what a great way to just completely take everything away from freaking what's his name from Wolverine, right? But that being said, I can honestly look at Vandal Savage interacting with Doom, Vandal thinking that he's on par with Doom, and Doom just finally like verbally unleashing on him, being like, "You honestly think that you being somehow picked, genetically or otherwise, who cares? You don't even know why you've existed for so long. It matters not to Doom. Doom is eternal. Doom is greater, and Doom owes his power to no one and no thing." Boom, that right there. Vandal Savage can think he's cool. Doctor Doom to me is the greatest villain ever created, ever. And you could even argue if he's actually a villain. Alexandre, the original Shazam, could take Thor's hammer. You're saying the wizard Shazam? Not right now, he can't. I would question that. But you do get the beady beady beat, 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 beat 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 beat, beady beady beat. um, what have you now? Oh, power creep is the gradual increase of power for no good reason. Oh yeah. Luke, yes, yes, yes. Luke Cage used to be able to lift 5 tons. Now he's around 50 tons. Yeah. Oh, dude, freaking the Thing was also at around 5 tons. And when the Thing and the Hulk first met, they were just as strong as each other. So, which means that the Hulk was around 5 tons. Now it's so much stronger. Yeah. Okay. There you go. With the power creep, I'm going to try and remember that term and use it again because yes. In fact, one of the things I loved about Luke Cage back in the day was that he had bulletproof skin, but he was still talking about, dude, those bullets, as impervious as my skin is, I still, that still almost broke my bone. That bullet almost broke my bone underneath because my bones aren't impervious to pain. You know what I'm saying? So I loved when they had that where he could still be turned to pulp. You know what I'm saying? Because someone beaten up on him. I loved that version of him. Like he actually had to. Now he's just, I am so powerful. I could go toe to toe with the juggernaut. No, I don't like that. I genuinely don't like stories like that. That just doesn't, make me happy at all. God Tank. What's up, Bretta? Hope all is well with you and the family. We good, bro. Namaste. um, let's see. The professor who got you ever disliked the video looks like the jokes on you. Right. Laugh out loud. The professor got you. Whoever disliked the video looks like the joke's on you, whoever you are. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't care about dislikes. That's cool. I'm totally cool with dislikes. Again, YouTube sees that the YouTube algorithm sees likes and dislikes the exact same. Honestly, it's the illusion of choice. It's like putting Trump versus Biden. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. Actually, I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to end this broadcast pretty soon. I got to jump on the thing with the podcast with Chillmonger pretty soon. Um, Doom is a god amongst gods. Worst villain of all comics is Mephisto, because we all know why. You're looking at the Champions thing? Oh, or because the Spider-Man thing, One More Day. Nothing wrong with old school. He had unbreakable skin, but his internal organs weren't exactly. It's not power creep. They're just spending karma to improve. Underwood with the face riff commentary. I like it. Armistead. What's going on, Armistead? Solomon Grundy comes to the Marvel Universe to exterminate Wolverine. Does he complete his task? No, because he's the bad guy. Good guy always has to win. You got to remember, comic books as a whole are very much like the WWE. What do I mean? WWE was a good guy territory for the most part. When there were territories, it was always the good guy territory. Who was the guy who was always on top? It was always a face. You know, the heels had to chase the face. The face didn't have to chase the heels for the most part, and it didn't last for very long if that was the case. Hulk Hogan was the face of WWE. Even when they try to put on Ultimate Warrior or on frickin' whatever, it would be on people like Bob Backlund back when he was just the unrivaled good guy. It would be on people like frickin' how am I not remembering his name? Okay, come on, man. Italian. Bruno Sammartino. There we go. So Bruno Sammartino, saying it would always be on the face of a good guy. Bret the Hitman Hart when he was a good guy, right? That would always be the case. If it was on a bad guy, it wasn't on the heel for long. But then you look at territories like the NWA, the WCCW, and stuff like that. AWA even, they would usually be on a heel, right? Ric Flair was the face of NWA, WCCW. Um, Ric Flair was the bad guy. Dusty Rhodes, yeah, he had the belt a couple of times, not as many times and not as often and not for as long as Ric Flair had it. Why? Because it was a heel territory. You could end a match with the heel being the winner all the time. And it's like, oh, that cheating or whatever. Like, got to see that good guy. You're waiting for that good guy to eventually get it. But the WWE would always have it where it's like, no, the heel would always try, and maybe he'd get ahead for a little while. But once it came to the pay per view, the payoff was that the face won. The face always won. And when push comes to shove, who was more right than the other? Well, at the end of the day, most comics are imitating what WWE used to be. And the idea that a lot of people are looking at the WWE nowadays and they're just like, Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to say that, you go with the idea there's always got to be that struggle and it could be close, but the face should always win. You know what I'm saying? The good guy should always win. That's just the way that I am with my comics. It's the Jim Shooter mentality. The good guy always has to win in the end, even if it takes an event to do it. Flair, heel on top, exactly. I love the professor's content, but I have disliked a video or two before. Oh, just means you disagree with something he said, not that you hate him. Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess. I don't know. I would, if that's your methodology of looking at it, I look at it as, hey, really like what you got to say. But in my commentary, I'm going to say, hey, love your stuff, but disagree with what you got to say because bah, 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 bah. Disliking the video is like I did a crappy video. But again, whatever. You do what you got to do. I always wanted to see Domino versus X23. Maybe one day I'll see it. Maybe you will. Maybe you will, digital grandson. Remember when Snuka was a bad guy? Yeah, every so often when Snuka was a bad guy, they just did that thing on him recently, Dark Side of the Ring, where they were talking about how he apparently murdered his ex-wife, girlfriend, whatever she was. Man, like, and when you think about it, Vince McMahon was definitely involved in the cover-up of that. Whether it was for better or for worse, Vince McMahon was involved in a cover-up, and that's just dirty, dude. Hulk versus Dark Side, Dark Side. Come on. Um, like Hulk beats the Avatar, but Dark Side, like you can't kill Dark Side. It's just that's almost impossible. You know what? And again, and this is Stephen Jones. Here's the thing. This is where I'm talking about story. How about you have this incredible story where Highfather and Darkseid are going out with each other. Darkseid has this big thing going. It's like, listen, I can, because they're entities. They're both entities going at it with each other. And Highfather's getting weak. That's why he sends Orion to go and try and weaken Darkseid's physical form so that, Highfather can eventually beat the astral, the main form, the true form of Darkseid. But at the end of the day, Orion just finally gets a little bit smart. Maybe he goes and he hangs out with Mr. Miracle, and he's just like, what do I have to do to beat Darkseid? Like, I'm just starting to think I can't do it. It's just like, maybe you can't. Maybe it's not about you beating Darkseid. Maybe what you need is somebody else who can help you out. And then they decide, hey, let's go get this Hulk guy. So Hulk versus Darkseid, and just, boom, 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 and they go at it. And Darkseid's thinking, I'm going to take you down. Superman's tougher than you, and blah, blah, blah. But then the Hulk just keeps on getting more and more pissed, especially if you try and say that somebody else is stronger than him. And it's like, no one's stronger than Hulk. Hulk is strongest there. And then just, boom, and just starts pounding the crap out of Darkseid. And the Avatar gets to the point where he's just at first, he's got this smile, and then he loses that smile. Then he starts to shake. Then he starts to shatter. Then you start to see the skin actually crumble. He's like, I can't take these punches anymore. What the hell? And he starts actually trying to get away. He tries to blast him with the Omega beam. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it didn't work. Maybe you should have went with the Omega effect instead. But like you blast him with the thing and he just, and just, somehow boom, it's like, no one's ever, but he doesn't even get to, finish the statement. Just boom. And like, or maybe that is how he winds up, defeating the Hulk, like finally, but he's so weak. And then all of a sudden here comes Orion. He flies in and just boom and just puts that final, kibosh on Darkseid because he didn't have anything left. And he just calls out, Father, now! And that's when Highfather comes in and just, boom, starts going after Darkseid because your avatar is weak. Mine is still, going strong, baby. Let's do this. So Darkseid is weaker, but all of a sudden somebody else comes in to help out. Who could come in to help? Maybe Odin. Odin comes in to help out Highfather. It's like all of a sudden, boom, got him, and then he gets put into the wall, into the source wall because that source wall never should have been freaking shattered. You shattered the DC universe when you shattered the freaking source wall. In my opinion, that was the worst mistake ever in DC's history was breaking that source wall. Because let's face it, something behind there was supposed to be, like everything behind there. Oh my God, it was supposed to be dangerous. And we got Perpetua. I'm going to let you sit on that for a little while and think about what I just said. So yeah, that never should have happened. But instead, he gets put in the source wall also. Now all of a sudden, there's a new god power. Like, and who's it going to be? Calabac? You know what I'm saying? Like Desaad? Who's going to take his place? Maybe now we get introduced to something else. Maybe we get oh shoot, not Steppenwolf, But what was Darkseid's brother? Your Usel Uriel, whatever his name was. What was his brother's name? Shoot, I got to go back and look at my own Darkseid Explained in a Minute video, or 10 things about Darkseid, in order to to remember that. But he had a brother. Um, Maybe all of a sudden he comes out of the Omega dimension, and he suddenly takes his rightful place. Ah, or or let's get really stupid with it, because this is going to be in a crossover storyline. Thanos steps up instead. Now, now we have a story. Now we have Thanos stepping up, and maybe he has to go at it with Darkseid's brother. You know what I'm saying? But now, boom! This is what we got. We got Thanos stepping up and taking over. Holy crap! So now Thanos has to deal with he understands what Darkseid actually is. And it's like, this is a power, much like when I had the cosmic cube. This made me so much more powerful than I ever could have thought to be. Holy crap. This is like, when I had the Infinity Gauntlet. This is something else. That's what I'm talking about. And then you have stories from this point on. Hey, why not? Why not? Unironically, I loved him in it. Big fan of Jamie Reyes, Blue Beetle. Oh, I've got a lot of that 10 things about done. I just have to actually put it together. I'm just too busy. Beyond that, Xenosema. Let's see if someone gets that. I don't know what Xenosema is. Daniel Rodriguez. I don't get it. I agree with you, man. Let's see. Injustice, Uncle Eli. Oh, Cryptid with Uncle Eli. Man, I could just imagine you in a room alone with frickin' Jason Aaron. I'm not saying you'd beat him up. I'm saying that you just like start screaming at him. He'd be like looking for an exit. Do you know what you've done to Robbie Reyes? My only experience with Blue Beetles in the cartoon, so I'm not an authority. It's all good. Nobody is. Superman has been shown to use super voice before, so it'd be funny to see him beat Black Bolt with a shout. See, that's one of those things I just don't think you should. Like when Black Bolt's got a lot of powerful, he's ridiculously powerful, but when you talk about that shout, that's something where it's like it's beyond the ken of any mortal to understand, right? So for Superman to just come over and be like, well, I can yell super loud too. Come on, man. You can't just have Superman be the guy who could beat everybody all the time, whatever. Like it just can't be the case. I don't want to see that. That's not what I want to see. Um, Also love the idea of a Martian green beetle. Oh, me likey. Me likey. um, yeah, what did Daniel say? Oh. Oh, okay. So I guess somebody gets that. Digital grandson got it. Um, let's see. Thor and Wonder Woman team up to stamp Darkseid from or stop Darkseid from using the core of an Eternal to make an unstoppable army of parademons. Hey, yeah, I'm down with that. Swamp Thing versus Krakoa. um, Ex Nihilo is beyond the wall then, right? Professor, believe me, I have days where I'd imagine myself locked up in a room. Jason Harrett. See, that's what I'm talking about. Doomsday versus the Marvel Universe. Nah, I don't think Doomsday is that powerful, man. I used to back when those first two original stories came out, but ever since then, Doomsday's been beaten every which way into Tuesday, and it's like, again, the jumping the shark moment is like Doomsday, who's super duper fast, can't seem to catch up with Tim Drake and older Tim Drake, just lightly running away and being able to have a conversation with each other as they're like, come on, Doomsday's a punk. Now Doomsday's been made into a punk. Doomsday, honestly, at this point, let's just see Doomsday versus the Rhino. Think I'm being silly? Honestly, can Doomsday beat the Rhino? Because they both get beaten just as easily as the other by their heroes of their respective universe. Doomsday versus the Rhino. You know what? Let's make that happen right now. Let's make that happen right now. Oh, what you little, but I got spiky too. Poo. Oh yeah, well, poo. Oh yeah, poo. Oh, poo. And like that's come on, man. That's the fight. That's the fight right now. The way that they've handled, And I hope, honestly, I hope that DC sees something like that, or somebody makes something like that and understands what they have done with Doomsday. Doomsday needs a retcon. Doomsday needs a hard retcon. Doomsday needs an enema because, like, he's a punk right now, and I'm embarrassed. Ah, let's see what we got here. Oh, dude, we got to get out of here, man. This is 2 hours now. We're coming up on 2 hours. I'm about to bounce out of here. Nova Star Lord and Drax versus Darkseid. Okay, we're just getting it. See, this has just turned into a freaking video game at this point. It's just turned into a video game. I ain't playing no video game, so I'm out. All right. Love you guys. I'll talk to you all later. I'm gonna go and call up um, Chillmonger right now, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side. And check out the podcast tomorrow. Also, I should I've got spikes too. See, you should be able to see the first. Hopefully by tomorrow you'll see something up. Okay. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.